Bonjour all you kiddos and kiddettes. Thanks for coming back for drawing tutorial number 7. My name is Jonathan Thunder, an Ojibwe artist from the Red Lake Nation. Today we're going to be taking a look at drawing a turtle character who, in some circles, goes by the name Mikinaak. To do this, you're going to want to grab a pencil, an eraser, and some colored pencils. I have a whole mess of them here that I'm going to be picking from, so whatever you have is going to be great. Don't worry about what colors to use. It's up to you. So once you have those things in place, get comfortable. We're going to draw this thing together. So let's make some art. And I just have a handful of colors here in my colored pencils. I have a ton of more colored pencils than this, but I picked out a couple different greens. This deep blue. I got a little violet here. This kind of crimson red. Got a lighter blue, sky blue, black. Might use that black. This is a brown, and this is kind of more of a saturated red called bright red. If you have these colors, great, but if you don't worry about it. I think we're drawing a turtle. Maybe these greens here are gonna come in handy. This blue and brown might come in handy. These other colors, you know, they're gonna be for just for fun. So what I'm gonna do is set these off to the side here for now, very carefully. You never want to be too rough with your colored pencils because the lead inside can break apart, and then when you go to sharpen them, you got a situation. All right, so in the 7 Ojibwe teachings, which is the theme of this drawing series, the turtle represents truth. So we're gonna draw a turtle today, probably a snapping turtle, which the Ojibwe word for Mikinaak, which the Ojibwe word for that is Mikinaak, because you know, I think they're just a little more interesting looking when it comes to drawing stuff. So I'm gonna start with the head. This is kind of the back of the neck. I think the eyeball is probably gonna be right around here somewhere. And then I think, you know, these snapping turtles, they have a pretty sharp beak. I don't know if it's actually called a beak, but I like to refer to it as a beak. And it kind of has a pretty crisp point like that right there, you know, which truth, I guess, can be pretty sharp. For those of you who are familiar with having heard the truth at an unexpected time, you know that it can be a little sharp. But you know, these snapping turtles, they can't change the way their mouth works. It's just like that all the time. And if you're truthful, I guess it's probably the same way. But let's get back to this drawing here. Let's kind of make a little room for this eye. We're gonna make this eye shape just a little rough. I'm gonna make a little eyeball for this guy right there. We're gonna make his tongue kind of sticking up. If you ever seen one of these turtles in the wild, you know that they got sort of this sharp little tongue. And then and draw the back of his mouth here. Give him a little nostril there. And I think we're gonna create a shape right here where his other eye would be. So there's the head. I would say that's, for the most part, kind of the head shape. And there's all kinds of detail in a turtle's head, but we're not gonna go too crazy right now. Just for the sake of this tutorial, we're gonna keep it somewhat simple. And that's gonna be the head right there. So Their head kind of comes out of this, it's kind of like a sleeve, I guess. And that is connected to some flesh that's underneath the shell. And they got these cool shells. You know, they're kind of they have these points on them like that. And they have multiple points. So we're going to draw a few of them like this. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and draw that all the way down this guy's back. This is a bit of a stylized drawing, so don't worry if you don't get it exactly how I'm getting it, because I'm just kind of drawing in these rough shapes here. If you were to look at a picture of a snapping turtle, you would see that there's a lot of detail, a lot of different detail. And I encourage you to be as detailed as you like, or not detailed. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your comfort level is. Especially if this is your first time drawing a turtle, don't feel like you have to, you have to get it exactly perfect. I know I never try to. It's, it's not a lot of fun. That's one of the things that I say about drawing photorealistically, which is when you try to draw something to look exactly like it looks in real life. You kind of, you sort of take away the creative element, and at that point it becomes almost like a contest. You know, and contests are fun, but they're competitive, and I think sometimes competition can really hinder creativity. So let's see here. We're just gonna have some fun with this arm, these little turtle hands or legs, whatever they're called. Let me go ahead and put this other one right here. Not quite sure yet what this turtle is doing. I'm just kind of making it up as I go here. This is kind of the turtle's belly. We're gonna draw his little belly shell there. So they got this shell underneath, and then they got this pointed shell on the top. And we're just kind of going for kind of the general look. This is also somewhat segmented. I'm gonna go ahead and draw the leg in here. Just kind of making these shapes kind of rough, nothing too defined. For the sake of this tutorial, we're just trying to make some general anatomy. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down and connect this here. Let's see. I'm gonna have that come something like that. I'm gonna draw this back leg here. So I think the bottom of this back leg is gonna be just a little bit higher than the bottom of this front leg. And that's how you show that something is just a little bit further away. We're actually gonna draw this at a different angle too. So we're almost seeing the back side of this leg, and that's gonna make it so that we don't see the three toes like we do in this leg facing us. And we can just kind of draw the shape. So this would probably be like where his ankle is, and this would be, I guess, the equivalency of this toe right here. A snapping turtle's got these really cool tails. I seen my uncle pick one up by the tail once, and You're not supposed to do that. But uncles don't always do things, don't do things that they're not supposed to do. I think the turtle was fine. He put it back in the water, just kind of picking it up to show me and try to scare the group, which they did, which it did work. It's a pretty intimidating snapping turtle. And they get a lot of spines all over their body too, these turtles. So we're gonna make this kind of rough. And I'm gonna bring that shell shape just a little bit on the other side here. So there is our snapping turtle, roughly shaped in. And I think what we're gonna do is leave it there for now. I would just imagine that, you know, he's talking to somebody, or, you know, maybe he's alerting somebody, or maybe he's about to catch fish. I don't know. But what I'm gonna do is start with this dark green colored pencil here. And I think we are going to go ahead and just kind of do his underbelly here. Now that we get all that nice pencil work in there, really all we got to do is color this guy in. And then I think our last step is going to be to take that black colored pencil and just kind of rework a lot of this line work. So that's looking pretty good so far. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do the same color for the back of the shell here. Working pretty fast here. I just wanna make sure to get through all the parts of this turtle, and later maybe I can go back and rework some of this stuff just to really refine how that looks. But for right now, I'm just gonna block in these colors. I just kind of want to get things colored so I can see what everything looks like. And this green, I'm gonna kind of use it to shade a little bit too, I think. So this would be the darker part of the turtle, and up here where the light would hit would be the lighter part of the turtle. So I think I'm gonna shade, kind of using this cross hatching method that we learned in some of the earlier lessons. I think maybe one or two or both. And I'm just gonna do the underside of this turtle's neck. Just kind of making that nice and dark. I'm gonna do the same thing on his arms here. Just color those in really dark. Because we're gonna use a lighter green to do the top part, and that's gonna kind of sell the effect that the sun is coming down from above him and maybe lighting him in that way, and then this stuff here is in shadow. This back leg, I'm actually gonna do the whole thing with this darker color, and I'm really gonna lay it on there thick. And then probably the underside of this tail as well. So as you can see, I'm just kind of working pretty fast here. You can use this green to reinforce some of these lines too while we're in there. Like I said, we're gonna go back in with our black and redo some of these as well. So now I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm curious to see what happens when I grab this lighter green. I'm going to start using this lighter green just to work the top of this. Just kind of making some lines that kind of go almost like around the shape of this character here. And maybe I'll even press lighter as I get towards the top of the head here. With these colored pencils, you can kind of press hard and make a darker mark, press light, make a lighter mark. And then I think, whoop, I'm just gonna put that right over there so I don't lose it. I think I'm gonna use this pretty light to do the back of this arm. And the same thing in here, around his neck and shoulders. Some of this stuff. I'm gonna do the same thing right here, really lightly. I'm gonna get this leg here, again, really lightly, and the top of this tail, pretty light. And we'll do these little spines in this color too. Kind of get those colored in, see what that looks like. Once we got those in there, I think we'll kind of take a look at it and see what other colors we can use. I'm actually just gonna do a really light shade around his mouth. So now that we got most of our green shades in there, I think we can start playing around with some of this other stuff. Like I got this deep blue, and I'm gonna use that to do maybe the inside of his mouth. That looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna do his eyeball with that too. And some of this stuff that's further away, maybe I'll use it to just kind of push that stuff back. When you use a darker color, it'll kind of push things off into the background. When you use a lighter color, it's gonna push some of that stuff into the, towards you, towards the viewer, so to speak. It'll bring it forward on the page. I'm gonna use this blue to shade where this shell is kind of intersecting with middle body. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna bring that right up around here. Get some of these folds on his neck. This is looking pretty good. I might actually just use this blue to reinforce a lot of these lines and not come back. With that black like I originally planned. And that's all right. It's okay to change the plan. Things are looking like they might benefit from just a different approach. It's your drawing. Nothing's locked in. No one's gonna tell you how to do it. I'm gonna use this blue to just even darken up the underside of this neck just a little more. And come back here behind the leg. Do the underside of this tail. Just work some of that shading with this blue. It's gonna blend with that that green that I already put in there and create almost like a on the page blending. Some of that's gonna come out looking sort of teal or turquoise, which is one of my favorite colors. I'm gonna color that in. Just having fun with this this blue. Sort of digging how that's making a lot of this turtle pop. So, all right. I think that's gonna be pretty good for the blue. I wanna grab this dark red here. I'm actually gonna coloring his tongue. I'm going to do the outline and then just fill it in. Just fill it in here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little bit of that red in his eyeball too. And I'm going to grab some of this lighter red and just sort of go around the mouth just a little bit. You know, these turtles are, you got a lot of different shades on them. It's okay to let them just have some weird colors. We don't want to get too crazy with that red around the mouth because otherwise it'll start looking like he has blood around his mouth or something crazy. I'm gonna use this black just for a little bit here. I think I'm gonna use it for the back of the shell. Just to reinforce this line that I made back there. I might even just come down this side of this one more time. And then I'm gonna actually just work in some more shading here just to kind of make some of this lower shell look like it's sitting in shadow a little bit. You know, these turtles, these snapping turtles, they spend a lot of time underwater down at the bottom of the lake, just hanging out. Trying to do their little snapping turtle thing. Trying not to bug too many people. Trying to live their best life. I'm gonna darken this in just a little more. I'm gonna go around that. That's starting to look pretty good. I like that. All right. I think the last thing I want to do is mess around with this brown a little bit, just to put some more earth tones in this little guy. And I think we're just gonna go sort of random. You know, that's the beauty of this this color work. You know, is you can be very deliberate, or you can just kind of play around with it. You know, it's your drawing. Just do whatever you think is great. Right now, you know, for a drawing like this, there's no wrong answer. So don't be afraid to try stuff. And if you make a mark that you don't think you like, just chalk it up, take a note. Next time you're working on a drawing like that, just make a different mark. All right, I think, you know, we'll go ahead and draw some air bubbles here. Make it look like he's kind of, rather than being above the water, I think we'll just go ahead and put some blue around him. Make it look like he's down in the water. There you go. That's a little bit of how to work with a pencil and jump into the colored pencils. Hope that was helpful. This has been a fun drawing here, drawing this little Mikinaak. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it done. I'm liking the looks of that. All right. Miigwech to everybody who followed along today in our colored pencil tutorial. I hope you had as much fun as I did drawing this Mikinaak character, or turtle. Feel free to post any pictures that came from this lesson today. My name is Jonathan Thunder. That concludes our 7 Ojibwe Teachings drawing series. But I hope you keep your drawing tablets moving. And in the meantime, be safe, be well, Gimaajii, Mino.